First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Dibbler. As always, thank you for joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. So wherever you're finding us, we appreciate that. Of course, we are on the YouTube channel for Fox 12 Oregon. We're at kptv.com. You can click on the Fox 12 Now tab or the live stream tab or the Fox 12 Oregon app. So lots of places to check out all the content that we cover. Right now, though, we are going to be talking about an event this weekend, a pretty monumental event from Guide Dogs for the Blind. Their Oregon campus out in Boring is having their 500th graduation ceremony. This is where the dogs that have been in training for a year and a half and then 2 weeks with their new partners have a little graduation ceremony. And then they also bring in the new dogs, puppies. I'm talking about puppies. There's going to be puppies in this. So we're discussing that with Christine Benninger, who is the CEO and president of Guide Dogs for the Blind. I got to sit down and talk to her for a little bit yesterday. So we're going to play that interview right now. I mean, it's a really, really big occasion there to have that 500th graduation, and we talk all about that here in this interview.
Well, thank you for having me on today, Greg. And we're really excited to be able to celebrate our 500th graduation on our Oregon campus. Actually, earlier this year, we celebrated our 1,000th graduation on our California campus. So 2024 has been a banner year for us.
That's incredible. I mean, 1,000 there, 500 here. And, you know, just to give everybody a little bit of context, when we talk about a graduation, can you explain what that is and how many dogs actually can be going through something like that?
Yeah. So first of all, let me just say that our graduations are incredible, inspirational experiences. Lots of fun. I will say bring your Kleenex, because it is inspirational and there's always a tear that's shed. But this is the opportunity for us actually where our mission completely comes together. And our clients have been training with their dog on our campus for 2 weeks. Our dogs have been training for 18 months to get to this point. And it's a celebration, really, of that team working together, getting ready to launch on, their new life together. And that celebration also includes the puppy raiser, who was, an integral part of making certain that our dog gets to this point, in time. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many steps to do that. I mean, you mentioned 18 months of training, and then to even get to that level, and then the person who's going to be receiving it, and that actually, you know what, we'll come back and talk about that. Maybe we should talk about who it is that's there, receiving these dogs. So for someone who does receive a guide dog for the blind, what are generally the qualifications or needs that somebody has in order to do that?
So the basic qualifications are that you're legally blind. It doesn't mean that you have no sight at all, but legally blind means that you need some sort of aid in order to get from point A to point B. You have some sort of vision, but it's not really helpful to keep you safe. Need to be legally blind. You need to have a need for a guide dog. So what that means is you're getting out and about every day, whether that's going to work, whether that's going to volunteer, whether it's walking down the road to meet friends, whether it's just getting out to exercise. So a need for a guide dog, need to get out every day. The fact that you also have some basic orientation mobility skills to be able to use a guide dog. And that means that you already know how to orient yourself within your environment as somebody without sight. For those people who don't have those basic orientation mobility skills, we have I'll call it a pre-guide dogs class, where you can come to guide dogs for a week's period of time to learn your orientation and mobility skills, and then at a later point in time come back for a guide dog.
So that you can get more training, then train up to being able to utilize a guide
exactly
dog.
Right. Yeah. So a guide dog's not a GPS system. So you, as the handler, have to already know how to get from point A to point B, the dog is going to take you there safely. So,
And, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, so having those skills of understanding how to get from point A to point B is a prerequisite to getting a guide dog.
And when we're talking about the dogs themselves, what are the qualities and traits that make a good guide dog?
Oh, well, first of all, they're cute, but
that 100%.
yeah, they are. But really, what a guide dog needs to have is confidence and resilience. Those are the two critical factors. And the reason for that is because guide work is, first of all, the most complicated of all service work. And the reason I say that is because a guide dog can't make a mistake, can't lead you into traffic just once, right? Can't let you hit a telephone pole just once. It can't do that.
Yeah.
Secondly, a guide dog, we call it, well, basically a guide dog has to make independent decisions about whether the command the dog was given is going to be safe or not. So you as a handler are going to give your dog the command to cross the street because you're not hearing any cars coming, but there may be an electric car coming. And so the dog has to disobey, we call it intelligent disobedience, has to disobey the command that has been given to them and pull you away from the street, not walk you into the street. Now that takes confidence. And if you think about it in terms of people, how often do you say no to your boss?
Right.
Not very often.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah. And so dogs have to have that confidence to be able to say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something different. Yeah.
And once somebody is out there in the public and has their dog, they've gone through the class, they've gone through the 2 weeks, and they're out there with their guide dog. What do you think are some of the most important things for the general public to understand when encountering somebody who does have a guide dog?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we always tell people that please don't touch the guide dog. If a dog is in harness, that means he's got his business suit on and he's working. So please don't touch the dog. You can, if you're interested, please say something to the individual. Hi, my name's Chris. I see you're with a guide dog. I'd love to learn more about that, or I just want to say hi, or can I pet your dog? Always, interface really with the client or, with the handler. And, the reason that we ask don't touch the dog, don't interrupt, is because in order for our dogs to be able to keep the person safe, they have to focus. They have to have, their eyes on what's happening. And when you interrupt that, you potentially put the handler at risk. It's sort of like if you're driving down the road and somebody, throws a sheet over your windshield, right? Oh my God, I can't see, right? It's sort of the same sort of thing with a guide dog. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, they are working, and that's so important
working.
to pay attention to, of what they're doing for that. Well, going back to the graduation ceremony, the 500th graduation ceremony here for Oregon that's coming up, and you're going to be able to get to see these people who are been matched up with their dog for the 2 weeks, getting to go through the graduation. What are the important things that you go through to match somebody up? Dogs are individuals just like people are. How do you go about that process?
Yeah. And, that's a great question because it's a huge process to do that. And it's not an easy one. And the reason I say that is because, first of all, part of that matching involves making certain that the skills of our dog match what the needs of our client are. So, in other words, if I live in New York City and I work in downtown Manhattan, that's a really different dog that's needed than if I'm here in San Rafael, a small suburb outside of San Francisco, on some sleepy little street, right? Different type of dog, right? So first of all, making certain that, the dog has the skills to do the job that he's being asked to do. Secondly, we try to match our clients temperament-wise with their dogs. So, Greg, you're super outgoing. We would match you with an outgoing dog. And the reason is that you probably love talking to people, right? So having a dog that's engaging with the community and drawing people to you is something that you may really want, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who may be, a little shyer, and actually I'm not so interested, in talking with a lot of people. We'll pair
Right.
you with a dog that's all business, right? And then we have to take into account our clients' wants and needs, right? Some of our clients only want a lab, some only want a golden retriever. Some of our clients can only see dark colors, so we're going to match you with a black lab. Some can only see light colors. We're going to match you with a yellow lab. And then I'm going to tell you that in every single pairing, there's a touch of magic that goes into it that we could never foretell. And a good example of that is in a class that just graduated a couple of weeks ago. We had a client who strawberries, sort of a weird story, but strawberries were really important symbol in her life. And that was because her father, who was an important person in her life, passed away as he was planting strawberries. So she had a strawberry, tattooed on her body. She came into class and had strawberries, on her, painted on her nails. And she ended up being matched, with a dog named Strawberry.
What?
Not anything that we planned. We didn't know about this story ahead of time. It's making me cry. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, and from her standpoint, her dad's now at her side. So that's that touch of magic that happens, just because the universe chooses to have it happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lots of inspirational stories when you come to graduation.
Yeah, a lot of training, a lot of experience, but still that little bit of magic that goes into that too, and something that's just special about that bond between a person and a dog. That it just is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, and it just happens. Well, for anybody out there, one other thing I just wanted to ask here before we let everybody know how to know more about the graduation. For anybody out there who is in need or thinks they may be in need of a guide dog, how do they go about that process of contacting you and getting through that process?
Yeah. The first step, just go into our website. There's, a whole application section. There's also, phone numbers that you can call if you'd like to just talk to somebody about what the application process is. But, our website is guidedogs.com. It's very self-explanatory once you get onto the website, how you can get involved in our process. And we welcome that. Yeah.
I will say I actually have a friend who just got a guide dog recently.
Fantastic.
From California, from the California location, and really, really important for her. I haven't met the dog yet, but I've seen pictures, so I'm looking forward to meeting the dog when he's not working. But for everybody for the graduation coming up, what do you want to let people know about as far as supporting this and celebrating this experience?
Well, our graduation is going to take place on our Boring, Oregon campus at Saturday from 1:30 to 2:30. I'm hoping that people would love to come because, again, being there in person, it's an amazing experience. We're also actually going to have a puppy delivery at that graduation as well. And those are always fun because that's the beginning of the cycle, right? You just witnessed kind of the culmination of the cycle, and then we'll start that cycle again with puppy raisers receiving, some 8-week-old puppies. But if you can't actually make it, we're also live streaming our graduation. So you can go on to the GDB YouTube channel and actually watch the graduation live. It's well worth an hour, absolutely well worth an hour.
100%. Well, Christine, thank you very much for joining us here to talk about this and just all the incredible work that you do, of helping so many people out in 500th graduation here in Oregon and 1,000th in California. And I'm sure at some point we'll talk about the 1,000th in Oregon. So
Yes, you will.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Well, thank you
Can I
very
add
much.
one more thing?
Absolutely.
Real quick, and that's just because most people don't realize that all of our services are free.
Yes.
So, the cost of the guide dog, lifetime veterinary care for the guide dog, follow-up services, bringing our clients out for training, all of that is covered by guide dogs, and we receive no government funding. So we rely strictly on the support of our communities. So if people are interested in supporting our mission, we would very much appreciate that.
Yeah, another way that people can help out and do that, and that's amazing that everything is covered. For somebody who's,
Yeah,
that's their their partner through
exactly.
life. And to not have to worry about any of those other things. That's really, really great. Christine, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg. It was my pleasure.
All right, so obviously, a lot of great work being done right there by Guide Dogs for the Blind, and that 500th anniversary is out at their Boarding campus over this weekend. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here. We are continuing throughout the afternoon, so if this is your first time ever watching, we appreciate it. There's lots of things to catch up on at the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel or the Fox 12 Oregon app, so great places to watch all the segments we have. At 1:30 p.m., if you are watching live right now, we're going to be joined by Eric Goranson from Around the House Northwest. We'll have a preview of this week's episode of that show, but also we'll have some guidelines to help extend the use of your backyard as we start heading into winter. I know it's not here yet. I'm not done with summer at all. We haven't even got to fall, but winter is coming. And with that, if you want to enjoy your backyard a little bit more, you're outside, he's got some tips and tricks on how to do that through those colder months. So that's going to be happening at 1:30 p.m. So lots happening here. If there's breaking news, we have that as well. This is where to go to for that anytime between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., especially outside of our other news shows. I will be here with that should that occur. But we're going to take a break right now. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. So stick around. I'll talk to you then. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.